Atma here. Gonna throw you with the Sultai Energy deck here. This thing is just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't have a theme, really. Because you could call this Sultai Emerge, really. I mean, this thing is just... it doesn't make sense, and yet it works. So I was doing some Teamer Emerge, and it just wasn't working that well. The thing about Teamer Emerge is a lot of people made Teamer Emerge based on the standard version. We don't have Emrakul, and we only have one copy of Kozilek's Return. As a result, the potency, particularly with the Kozilek's Return, you only have one of them. Like, when you have it, it's great, but when you don't, normally that deck used to run 4, it just feels awkward. So the other part of the strategy was like ramping into Ulamog. And so having, you know, primal druids and ramp spells and things like that was important, but they're really low impact against aggro. This deck does a couple things. Number one, it has things like Longtusk Cub, Tireless Tracker, Duskwatch Recruiter, Glint-Sleeve Siphoner. These are aggressive creatures. So you can kind of contend with aggressive creature-based draws. Another thing that this does is it has Fatal Push instead of Harness Lightning, obviously. And even like the Teamer Emerge strategies sometimes wouldn't even have Harness Lightning. They would just ramp and not kill anything. The only way they could kill stuff is with Kozilek's Return. Now, the other element of this is it has a few planeswalkers. There might be arguments about not including any Nissa, and I think that's fair. Liliana, here's the thing about this deck. Things like Bounding Krasis are extremely good at protecting planeswalkers. This is kind of like casting 2 creatures at once against creatures, because if they attack or are intending to attack with 2 things, you can tap one thing down and then try and block or trade or whatever with the other thing, which, you know, like, it almost makes it like a flash stop sign. And if you have Liliana on board, she's just going to be ticking up, and now you're going to have creatures and stuff, so it's pretty brutal. Kiora, I like this -2, and it basically says draw a land card, draw a creature card, and there's plenty of creatures in here, so it's a little more reasonable than your normal, like, planeswalker-y deck, and this only has 3 planeswalkers, so it's not that planeswalker-y. Ob Nixilis is just a decent thing to have. Now, there's 5 Emerge creatures in here. Lashweed Lurker is just, if they resolve a Gideon or something, it's nice to push it out of the way for a turn. And if they're out of cards, putting some crappy creature on the top of their library usually closes the deal, because they don't get to draw into anything. Distended Mindbender is just really good in the meta right now, because it's big and 3-for-1's control. Like, it's just a good card. Like, you will often get like a kill spell and a planeswalker and a 5/5 out of it. And then Elder Deep-Fiend is just Elder Deep-Fiend. You're probably wondering, like why do this? Like, why have energy and like non-energy creatures and like Bounding Krasis and planeswalkers? And really, the whole thing is this is just the best thing you can do in this color combination. That's all it is. Like, this is a creature deck that has some planeswalkers in it. It's basically a mid-range Emerge type deck. There's nothing really special about this, but it does work. It's strange. The last thing I want to talk about is Shielded Aether Thief. I was testing this a little bit, and I actually think it's fine. It's weirdly at odds with this thing, because you'd rather spend 2 than 3 to draw a card, even if you lose a life, but like, the 4 toughness is pretty good at blocking. Like, it's extremely good at blocking. The fact that you can flash block, get an energy, and this deck kind of just, you know, you can spiral energy out of control and draw a lot of cards. So I actually kind of just like that as once again, another little stop sign. This deck is aggressive sometimes, but it doesn't really need to be. And you'll see, like, This isn't bad, you know? I mean, it's a weird one. It's doing 3 different things, but they all work. And we'll play some games and you'll see. So, I had made a Teamer Energy deck first. And this was actually spawned off from that. The Teamer Energy deck actually generates an absurd amount of energy. And it draws an absurd amount of cards off Aether Thief. But I basically just put black in here because I wanted to try it. And so this became more of an Emerge type deck. I just wanted to see what would happen. And it turns out that it's pretty decent. So that's really where this all came from. I'll do the Teamer Emerge deck probably in the next video. But this one was just a little more unique. Like, people know that, you know, there's energy decks out there. And so showing Teamer Energy isn't really all that exciting. Not as exciting as doing a Sultai, which isn't really a color combination that sees much play. I think it's the least played 3-color combination, actually. So because I'd rather ambush this, I'm not going to actually play this Aether Thief. I'd rather just kill it with a Krasis. If he knows anything about blue-green, he won't even attack, but... Well, hopefully he has a kill spell, because he'll be pretty annoyed by this if he doesn't. He might have a pump, too. We'll tap it down just in case he has intentions on blocking. Alright, so we got that. That's one thing I like about Bounding Krasis in Magic Duels, is in a game where there's sideboards, people are like, oh, he's got something like that in his deck, so I'll be prepared, but you know, in Magic Duels, they only get to see a one time. Like, you queue up, and you're just playing, and they're like, oh, what are they doing? You have to have the foresight, oh, he's blue-green. There could very easily be a Bounding Krasis here. And I think of stuff like that because I play way too much, but that's one advantage you end up having on people in this game. And he missed a land drop too, which is probably going to spell the death knell for him. He looks like he missed another one and is going to discard. Yeah. Oh, and he was a... Well, he must have been at least 4 colors, right? This will be a quick one to play out, so we'll just kind of see how the draws go, even though this isn't a real game anymore. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. He would have to play like a red and Radiant Flames in order to make this video last longer. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. This will probably find a mountain, but it'll be too late. Yep. So we've got 12 on board. All right. We'll just get to the next game quick. That was a little underwhelming. That's what happens when you play 4 and 5 colors. You guys don't realize this, but this is actually game 5 for me. There was a game where the guy disconnected in the beginning. There was a game where the guy cast Titan Strength on my guy and quit. There was a game where I got stuck on mana and the guy played 6 1-drops and a Declaration in Stone for my first creature, so that wasn't really a game worth watching. So yeah, I mean, we're just like, this is like game 5. This isn't super great, but it's fine. Certainly super reliant on getting a land. Against blue, it's usually nice to get Duskwatch Recruiter out there unless it's blue-red, but his icon looks like blue-green or blue-black or something. Or blue-white? Alright. This could be horribly awry. I'm actually going to Recruiter here. Normally I Cub, but against blue-white, putting tons of counters on Cub doesn't really do that much. And at least this forces them to play things in their main phase, or they let us... Okay, so this is just control. I thought it might be like a flash, but now I see it's just Esper control. I think if you played Gideon here, we'd have a pretty tough time getting at it, even with stuff like Deep-Fiend. We really want a Distended Mindbender as soon as possible. I feel like this is going to be a Blessed Alliance. It's a fucking thing I did not expect is what that was. Alright. It's a sort of Esper control. I mean, this is a control card. It's just a little more difficult to deal with. I got a kill out of it, though. I have no qualms about getting rid of my Tireless Tracker to Elder Deep-Fiend or Distended Mindbender if I have to. Especially after I already get value off like 2 clues. It's not a big deal. Fatal Push. This could be like Avacyn or something. Spell Shrivel. Alright, well now if it's Blessed Alliance, I get punished, but I'm going to attack anyway. We'll still be live for the other Fatal Push if we need it. Being behind control on land is usually not where you want to be. That's pretty good. I kind of want to just see his hand. This feels like an Avacyn to me. Draw. Yep. Brawl, sure. We can Fatal Push that, see if we can get the Counterspell out of his hand. Anguished Unmaking. I think that... Do I want him to take 3 damage? I want to get this Deep-Fiend out there. It's more worth it. Broken Concentration. Yep. That's pretty fucking awful. That he had that. It's pretty fucking awful. God, that's awful. That was the worst. It's just the actual worst. I see now that I should have murdered this stupid bullshit. Krasis, sure. That was brutal. I mean, I guess there was a good chance that he had that since he's playing a control deck with Baral, and we had already been counterspelled, so it seemed likely that he would have a counterspell. Probably should have thought about that a second longer, but seemed like having a 5/6 would have been nice against that board, since it looked like he was about tapped out. I guess we'll get this counterspelled, and then we'll worry about doing other stuff. Scatter to the winds. Absolutely. This may seem psychotic, but I'm actually going to steal this thing. The Distended Mindbender is now much worse. But I would still cast it. Get his counterspells out of his hand or whatever. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only. Alright. Probably double Krasis here. A block. What's that mean? Okay. It's pretty bizarre. So that needs to get 2 things out of exile. He only has 1. Pause. Yep. Why not? So now Mindbender's a 5/5. It's a pretty nice upgrade, though. I could also just Lashweed Lurker something. Seems like a fine plan as well. I would like him to draw this. I'm here to trade, guys. Don't mind me. don't think counterspells are particularly spectacular in this particular game, mainly because they didn't print very many good ones, but I play them sometimes. Sometimes they feel awful. Well, we got this one because he drew a land, probably. People leave when they draw lands. They usually they usually don't just leave because it looks like they're gonna lose. They leave because they're mad about the land situation. That's weird that it would tap that. I hate this fucking game. It's so stupid. It's absurd that it would tap that. Oh, I guess maybe it was, yeah, maybe there's a reason. Alright. I gotta pay more attention to that mana situation when I'm talking. Well, we made a semi-mistake. It's not like I could have known for sure what he had, but that Elder Deep-Fiend was a pretty big blowout. We'll try and get some more in. Hopefully I don't have to play like 5 games to get there. You know, why did we win that game? It's really because counterspells just aren't enough. Like, you can counterspell all the things in the world, but you certainly need card draw or a planeswalker generating advantage. Because counterspelling is just like killing something. If you kill something and they're still doing stuff, then you haven't done enough. Well, this is just horrendous. Like, this is amazing if we get a... we're on the draw. He mulliganed once. I can't do it. Alright, it's close, but not quite. Now we got a little bit of a curve, although black-white's usually indicative of some kind of deck with Declaration in Stone and Anguish Unmaking and Fatal Push. Oh, that's a solid Fatal Push, is sacrifice this thing in Fatal Push. Although, he'll probably just Fatal Push the Recruiter, because that's problematic in and of itself. He'll figure, good enough. Don't mind if I do. Or he doesn't have it, in which case it's a boon, although a Liliana here would be pretty unfortunate. I think turn 4 Gideon's the most winningest play in the game, but I think turn 3 Liliana is probably the second most winningest. It's particularly winning for my deck because, well... Now it's just stands of how fast can I Fatal Push this thing? Hopefully the answer is this turn. There's a possibility that I'll just... Well... I'm going to pretend like I'm going to double block and then Fatal Push if he has removal. That's my plan. Yep. It's a good old 2 for 2, but we got a guy now. We can draw one of 2 ways. I think the best plan would be to Rogue Refiner. That was an excellent draw. It sucks a little bit if he forces us to Blossoming Defense something like a Languish, or not a Languish, but a Yahenni's Expertise, rather. It sucks even worse if he has Languish, because we can't save either of our guys. Green. Oh yeah, he did have green. Don't know why I didn't notice that last turn. Call of Unity. So Call of Unity is a card that I've tried to play, but found just slow beyond belief. So I like the idea of just drawing a card here. Although I left the wrong fucking land open. I'm just a fucking world of failure over here. Blue-green. Blue-green is what I needed. I'm just going to flash this in so I have an emerge target. Ooh. So that's how he's going to go off. Seems like an attack is in order. Vengeful Rebel. He didn't crack his thing. That seems incorrect. There he goes. Don't mind if I do. I'll save my guy. So from here, it seems like Lashweed Lurker, Call of Unity. No. Yeah, I think I want to get that Call of Unity off the board. Make him replay that shit. No, I guess I'll just let him have it. I don't think he should have cracked this clue. I think he should have tried to block with a land. Never mind, he drew something. Stand corrected. All right. So if I tap something down, I can only do 2 damage. If I play Glint-Sleeve Siphoner and then tap something down, he might actually have this game. It's kind of sad, but he might actually have it. I need to go wide enough and then tap down his Shambling Vent is what needs to happen. I could just straight up, like, do this. Trade a guy for a guy. I imagine he'll trade this. That seems worth it. I've actually made a Revolt deck like this with clues to Call of Unity. That's exactly what mine does. It's Abzan. He needs the minus here for sure. He did. I don't really care how big his guys get at this point. He's so close to dying. Let's just get more guys. It's not. There we go. Well, we could just Rec Sage his things. I think Elder Deep-Fiend is just objectively superior in this case. How on earth does he beat this Deep-Fiend? That's not bad. It's a start. We did it. This is the deck, guys. It's an Emerge deck. I didn't really get to do Distended Mindbender or Planeswalker stuff, which is something I usually get to do, but nevertheless, we did the stuff. Yep. That's how it's done. Sultai Emerge. Alright, trying to get a final game in here. Just played 2 games against the guy who was just leaving at the beginning of the battle to farm coins or whatever, so that's not very fun to watch. Wintervoidx, our Steam Showdown friend. So he usually plays control. Basically every time I've ever faced him randomly on the ladder, he's always playing Grixis control. I think there's never been one time where he didn't play Grixis control, not even once. That doesn't mean he's going to here, but it's just lately he just always has been playing Grixis Control every time I found him, so. Obviously our hand's a little awkward unless we draw a swamp or something, but just gonna jam this Cub. Then we'll just do nothing next turn if we have to. Let's see, is it red or black or blue? It's green! Alright, so we got something else going on here. Alright. What, green, red or something? I don't know. Nanam. That's pretty pesky. Would I just throw away this Cub against this Death Touch? I'm never going to get in. I could just wait, I guess, at this point. You never know what I want to Fatal Push. Maybe that thing, maybe something else. So Bant. I like Bant. It's gotten worse. I'm not sure why, but I like it nevertheless. Alright, so he's probably got a Flash guy. Well, guess what? I've got a Flash guy. He could have a Counterspell. I do want to draw a card. We'll just play Chicken with him. Ooh, pauses, plays nothing. Gideon, yep. I'll be sure and kill that stupid thing. So I want to tap down this token, Fatal Push the Death Toucher. Hopefully I draw a land so I can play something else. That's not bad. That is something else. I certainly hate Gideons. Gideons are not my friend. It's definitely the hardest card to beat when played on turn 4, but the fact that we were able to get it off the board is the first step to not losing the game. But we're starting to not get mana, so there's that problem. This Confiscation Coup should be able to get an Avacyn by the time we cast it. Or something of her ilk. Something heinous. Ooh, another Planeswalker. How irritating. Taps down 2 guys, sure. Hopefully he thinks that means he can attack. Nope, he does not think that. He may have something like a Planar Outburst, for all I know. That would be unfortunate. It'll make it way harder to get at Tamiyo. I want a Distended Mindbender, but I'm unable to. I really want to see what the fuck's going on over there. I really want to kill this Tamiyo. I could do it. I could actually do it if I just tapped down this thing and just attacked. Attack with the 0/4 too in case he has Blessed Alliance. Alright, 2 planeswalkers down. Him drawing 2 cards is bad, but if we get a black land, then we can get 2 cards out of his hand. I imagine he'll have 2 things to get. We still have the Confiscation Coup if he resolves something problematic as well. The real key is just not getting board wiped right now, because that is it's a 4 for 2. Sure. Reflector Mage plus Counterspell, perhaps? Love missing tons of land drops. It's my favorite. It's my favorite bricks. At least this is a pretty interesting game. I may lose because of the mana situation, but then again, I might win. Oh god, what's he do now? 6, okay. Selfless Spirit. So we have to kill a 3rd planeswalker. We get a clean kill if we Confiscation Coup, but that seems like a waste. I guess it's clean enough, just doing it this way. Excuse me. Three planeswalkers down, folks. I'm not really keen to put something else out there. Like, our board state's fine. I really don't want to get board wiped. Anybody who plays this many planeswalkers very well may have a board wipe, so. So we'll just play it by ear. See if we can get one of the 6 cards out of his hand eventually. Oh, that's pretty good. I'd be happy to kill that. He could have a counterspell though. That would suck. Oh, it's not. He could still have a counterspell. He does. Alright. What I want to do, as insane as it is, I want to Confiscation Coup this Selfless Spirit, and then I want to draw a black land, and then I want to emerge the Selfless Spirit to get Distended Mindbender. That's what I really want to do. Alright, we're doing this right the fuck now, because this is just ridiculous now. Yes. Well, I want black, though. Alright, we'll take one of these. Blue, green. I guess we'll just take blue. See if we can get black. Yes! Yes! Okay. So the current plan, as it stands, is Confiscation Coup on Spell Queller, Distended Mindbender. Okay, the current plan is Confiscation Coup that thing. Our Distended Mindbender is getting worse and worse, but Yep, still gotta do this first. Pause. That sucks, dude. Okay. Guess you got it. I want to draw a land so I can Longtusk Cub and Ob Nixilis. I hope he doesn't attack with a bunch of shit here. That would suck. Alright, so there's a land. Now the question is... if I Sky Sovereign, then I can't... it's the Selfless Spirit is really problematic. We'll see what he's got first. I don't want to get Blessed Allianced. He may not even kill this thing out of fear of a fatal push or something. Or maybe he's safe now, actually, so... yeah, he'll kill it. Forgot. Selfless Spirit's always a problematic card. Yeah, I don't care. You want to kill that thing? Have at it. Okay, so all of his things are good, and I can only take one of them. Seems pretty clear that Eldrazi Displacer is the most frightening. He doesn't... it's definitely the most frightening. His hand was good, there's no denying. I guess I can give him a Selfless Spirit target here. Because that'll be dead soon enough. It was better to give him a Selfless Spirit target than let him draw a card with Duskwatch Recruiter, I think. He's looking for Reflector Mage, I think. Nope. This is a very interesting matchup. This reminds me of like old Bant Company matchups, although he has way more guys on board, but it's similar just in the way that there's always these stalls where Duskwatch Recruiter's the breaker. Okay, sure. I'll attempt to deal with that shit later. Alright, so he knows those are gonna die. Or at least one is. could just cast this Mindbender and just take his things. Yep, I hate all those things, but particularly this. At least we got 2 things this time, that's good. Yeah. Certainly been Duskwatch recruiting us. Ooh, that's a good one. Dees. Alright, so what do I want to do this Ob Nixilis? I think I want to kill this. I want to kill this recruiter, actually. So I could do this and this. Yeah, I guess I just kill 2 things. Alright. And if I play this, he can swing all out and kill it. That seems... I can't. Alright, so we'll destroy this. Let's play out this bitch. The epic final game. Alright, we got him. We'll finish it off, though. Because you know... He certainly drew 7 more cards than us. It's pretty impressive. We're going to start getting our cards, though, with Ob Nixilis. It'd be funny if the computer beat me on the video. It's the best part. It's losing on the video to the computer part. But as you can see, this deck works adequately. Ooh, 7/7. That will be chump blocked by Reclamation Sage. I don't think they're even going to attack. Ooh, another Nanarm. Jeez. This guy certainly played a shitload of creatures. 14 cards in his graveyard, 2 cards in hand, more creatures on board. Oh, that's mightily good. Do I just have the kill if I play this? I tap down this and this and this and this. He has 2 3/2s. They block the 5/5s. Yep, I think that's it. That's +1 just for shits. This, and this. Sultai Emerge, kids. I don't want to say it's the best, but it ain't bad. Beat our good friend Wintervoidx. Didn't win because he didn't play Grixis. I'm calling it now. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my new intro. And tell your friends, man. They want to watch the greatest Magic Duels player who ever graced the internet. Go no further than my channel. Atma. Out.